Hello, my friends. Welcome to Higgs Harmonies, Choral Music Central, and happy 4th of July. On this channel, in addition to the choral music that I sing and the virtual choirs that I make, I also like to break down some of the world's and the internet's best choral music performances. And I always find that the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, or O Canada, when they're performed at sporting events, it's always kind of up in the air if it's going to be good or not. In fact, I've probably seen more bad performances than I've seen good performances. Some of the great ones that come to mind would be Whitney Houston and Chris Stapleton, but we have a doozy for you today, and that is the Gaither Vocal Band performing the Star Spangled Banner. And before we jump in, if you have any reaction recommendations for me on this channel or my main channel, Nick Higgs the Singer, or if you have virtual choir requests that you'd like me to fulfill, make sure you check out Buy Me a Coffee and check out my Patreon, all of which are linked in the description below.
1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Oh, that is how it's done. If you're going to do the national anthem, this is what I expect. This is what I want. And what a lovely arrangement of this national anthem. I think we had everything that we could possibly want from a 1:49 mini choral piece. We had incredible harmonies, both consonant and dissonant. So there was some crunch in there. There were some unison singing, which is always a nice touch to add in. Some great suspended chords happening, high notes, low notes, and clear text. I mean, you can't really ask for much more than that. We're going to go back and dissect a few things, but based on this presentation, I mean, I love the way they're standing. They're kind of standing into each other, almost facing each other so that they can blend, they can follow each other, and they're really kind of following this guy right here, who is the very famous Bill Gaither. This is his vocal band, and he's responsible for a lot of the wonderful Christian and gospel music that's happened in the United States. He's responsible for a lot of it. We've got a really great lineup here as well. We've got David Phelps over here is killing the tenor line. He's supplying a lot of those suspended chords. And then Mark Lowry, who's not only a great singer, but wrote Mary Did You Know? It's a star-studded lineup. They're all great singers and musicians, but somebody's got to lead it. And why not Bill? He's the bass line. He gives us that beautiful low, I think a low C at the very end. But he's the leader here. He's the bass line. He's giving us the breaths, and they're kind of taking their cues from him, which is smart. Now that we've listened to it once, let's go back and hear it again.
1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Okay. So let's pause it right there. We'll break it down. No disrespect to the anthem, but we listened to it all the way through. Now we're going to chunk it up a little bit just to talk about some of the details that may have been missed on the first viewing. So, very beginning, oh say, Oh, say. The word is oh, but they add an H in there. Oh, say. I didn't hear it the first time. I heard it the second time. The slight aspirated H, oh, say, gives everybody a little bit of breath. And I noticed they all kind of do it. So maybe this is something that they talked about before they sang it. But that aspirated H is going to give a little bit more breath on the onset. So if we just go, oh, say, it's kind of aggressive and the breath kind of punches a little bit too aggressively. So the H just allows the air to flow before they actually phonate. So that's it's a good tip if you're in a choir or if you're running a choir and you start a piece or you start a section or a phrase on a vowel, don't be too harsh with the glottal, but add an aspirated H. Oh, say. No one will really notice. And as we go through, we'll hear that one more time. But then they go into harmony and then back into unison. And that's actually something that's very, very difficult to do. If you're a choral singer, maybe you know this. Singing in harmony is one thing because you have to sing the right notes while someone else is singing something different. So it can be hard for your ear to do that and not cling to what they're singing. But also, unison singing is hard as well because the vowels have to match, absolutely. The pitches have to match as well. And just sort of the general shaping and intonation, or else it won't sound in unison. They can master unison. Let's see if we can hear that one more time.
2, 3, 1. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
Now unison.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Okay. Isn't that interesting? So they also ended this section. If we could break this first 45 seconds into two chunks, they end with unison both times. So that's an intentional thing. It's kind of like we start together, we branch off into our harmonies, and then we come back together. So maybe there's a few different reasons why they did this and different interpretations you can have. My interpretation is that a national anthem is meant to be about unity. Whatever the country is, meant to be about unity. So if you're going to do a 5-part harmonic arrangement of it, you want to show some unity by having unison. So they kind of go apart and then they come back together. The other thing I noticed, I want you to keep your ears open for as we go along, the final consonants, when they end the phrases, they're always so clean. That's probably the biggest challenge overall for a choir, is to start and end at the same time. Like when they sing the word light, light, if it's not together, then those T's just sound sloppy.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, it's so hard to not turn all of your attention to David Phelps because he's just got such a magical voice. And so I've talked about this in previous videos, and maybe I'll link one of my reactions to him in the description. It's on my main channel, Nick Higgs the Singer. But he's got such carry and such bite in his voice. We might call that squealo if we're in the classical music or the operatic world. But his voice has so much carry and it's so present and beautiful that you can't help but just focus solely on him. So even at the beginning of this section, when they say, oh, say does that Star Spangled, they add the H in again. Ho, ho. So it's just giving them that little bit of momentum so it's not such an abrupt onset.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Isn't that beautiful? So with that kind of suspension, this is sort of the purpose of suspensions. Makes sense. It's called a suspension because we want to suspend that moment, or we want to delay the payoff, give us a little bit of tension, and then release at the last second. If you listen to anything by Palestrina, for example, they always end in some sort of 4/3 suspension. A lot of Renaissance music ends with that fa, mi, re, mi, just to give a little bit of tension, and then it pays off in the end. What I just discovered too about this part is that they kind of chunk it up. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner, yeah. It just kind of goes boom, 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 chunk, 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 very smooth. Let's see if we can hear that.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? O'er the land of the free and the home of the
Very nice. Yes. So David over top, he had that sustain note, and then we did a flat 6 chord, a flat 7 chord, and then it finally resolved to a 1 chord. And they all elected to go brave. You can see Bill right here at the end. Look at his mouth. That's the word brave. They're all doing brave, but they're showing their front teeth to get that brightness. Even though gospel music has some of the great basses of all time, I'm thinking Bill being one of them, J.D. Sumner, these big like basso profundos. It's still very treble dominant, I find. Like the vowels are very bright. The texture overall is not muffled and dark. It's very pointed and very bright. And so they're all doing that right now on the word brave, even though Bill is about to sing a low C. See if you can hear that. I recommend listening to this part with headphones. And this video, by the way, is linked in the description. So if you want to watch the whole thing, you can. But see if you can listen to that low C. Yeah, nice low C at the end. Just rounds it off. Now, if that were the level of the national anthem every time, it would be so much better. Like if they could do the Super Bowl or something, or the World Series. I don't know what it is about the organizers of sporting events, but they just sometimes they pick the strangest, most horrible version of the national anthem. I'm of the opinion that the national anthem should be of any country. I'm Canadian, so think of Canada, but any country in the world, is that you should always pay homage to the original in some way. Like I should listen to it and go, that's the Star Spangled Banner. That's O Canada, and recognize it. But sometimes they bring in people who of every style and every genre of music, and they change it so much that it just doesn't sound like the national anthem. And to me, like, what's the point? Just sing a different song then, if that's the case. But if it were done like this, holy smokes. It would be so good. Thank you very much for watching. Happy 4th of July, if that's the time period in which you're watching this. If not, hope you have a great normal day. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy some of the videos that might pop up on your screen in just a moment. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.